So, so in today's class, we will discuss about egg cookery. Now, this is Unit 9 in your syllabus. We have skipped Unit 8 and I've just moved to Unit 9 because I think this is one of the most important ingredient and you should know about this. Guys, before I start the class, do you know which is the most? You can put it on the chat box also. This thing, you know which is the most liked photo on an Instagram. Have you ever Googled it? Which is the most liked photo on an Instagram? Aditya, yes, of an egg. Look, Kylie Jenner had the most liked photo, but now the most liked photo on an Instagram is an egg picture. The picture of an egg which you see on the screen right now, that is the most liked photo on Instagram. It has 55 million views. That is pretty amazing, right? A photo of an egg having 55 million views. Somebody just put it up because they wanted to defeat Kyle Jenner's likes, but that is pretty amazing that an ingredient, a versatile ingredient like an egg, can gain such kind of traction on the social media. Now, why this happens? Why is egg so important? That has nothing to do with how many likes it has got on social media or class. But I just want to know that why is egg such an important ingredient? Why is egg such a versatile ingredient? Of all the ingredients that we use in bakery or in culinary, it can be anything. There are like hundreds and thousands of ingredients which we use, but the most versatile of all the ingredients which we have seen either in culinary preparations or in bakery preparation is egg. Now, why it is most versatile ingredient is because it can be used as a egg is something which can be used as a main dish. It can be used as an accompaniment. Okay, it can be used as an accompaniment. It can be used as a main dish. There are a lot of dishes where egg is the center point of attraction. There is a lot of dishes where egg goes as an accompaniment. It can be used as one of the ingredients in a dish. So it can be used as one of the ingredients in a main dish. It can be used as one of the ingredients in a main dish. Then it is so versatile that it can be used as an emulsifier, it can be used as a leavening agent, it can be used as something which provides binding, it can be something which provides moisture, it can be something which provides structure, it can be something which provides richness. Egg is something which provides color, egg is something which provides flavor. So I can go on and on and on about what egg can you do. It is used as an emulsifier agent, it is used as a leavening agent, it can be used for tons and tons of things. Ranveer, emulsifier means something which can emulsify two fats or a fat and a liquid, which can emulsify fat and a liquid or which can emulsify two fats. So just take an example. You make mayonnaise. In a mayonnaise, there is a yolk, which is a fat, and then there is oil which is coming. When you mix two fat, it is very difficult to mix two fat together. But because egg has got lecithin, I'll type on the chat box, it has got lecithin, which is an emulsifier. Lecithin are proteins or an emulsifiers that are present in egg yolk, and it helps in emulsifying two fats together. It is something which is the most versatile ingredient. It can do there is no application which an egg can't do. It provides structure to ingredients, it provides flavor to ingredients, it helps in aeration of egg, it can absorb air. So because it is such an ingredient, it is an ingredient which has got so much application in culinary and in bakery. That is why for a budding chef like you guys, for all of you who are studying culinary or studying pastry, egg is such a versatile ingredient that you have to know about it, that you should know the importance of this food source, that you should know the application of this food source, why it is so important. This is the sole reason why I wanted to start this unit first before I do vegetables and fruits, is because of the applications and because of the amount of importance this food has, both in pastry and in culinary. Okay, so now let's see what this versatile ingredient is all about, what egg is actually made up of. When we divide a structure of egg, Shaswat, what is the use of lecithin? Lecithin is used as an emulsifier. Shaswat, I just spoke, it is used as an emulsifier. Okay, So what are different parts of egg? Different parts of eggs are eggs as a whole is divided into five equal parts. Is it not five? I won't say five equal parts, but it is divided into five parts. Okay. Now, before I come to these five parts, I wanted to know one thing. If somebody asks you just a simple question, this would have been so nice if you'd have done it like a verbal discussion. It's very difficult when we do it in online. But if somebody asks you what is an egg, then what is egg? Egg is nothing but it is a oval. It shapes as oval, so it's an oval reproductive body. It's a reproductive body. It means life, right? Whenever just take an example of Easter eggs. If you have seen, if you know this, there's a festival, there's a Christian festival called Easter, which happens every year in April or March, April. Uh, There, whenever Easter comes, the whole world goes mad. That they start making these eggs. They start making these Easter eggs. Now Easter eggs are nothing. They are chocolate eggs. They are eggs which are made up of chocolate, and they denote that shape of egg. That's why they're known as Easter eggs. Why do they do that? Is because eggs denotes life. So that is the whole reason why they make these Easter eggs, because it denotes life. It has something to do with the religion side of it, and we're not going to get into it. But just think of it. You name me any other festival in the world where we make a mock, or where we make a mock structure of an ingredient. No, there is no other festival in the world, and there is no other ingredient which is used as a mock ingredient to make something else. We have an egg, but it has been mocked, and with the chocolate you make an egg. There is no other festival, and there is no other ingredient where it has been done. So it denotes how culturally, how religiously important the significance of this shape, or significance of this creation of nature is to human beings, right? Now coming back to what is egg. Egg is nothing. Egg is an oval reproductive body. It comes from female of many animals. But the moment I say egg, I am not talking about egg of a reptile. Definitely not. I'm not talking about egg of any other bird. The moment I say egg, I mean egg of a hen or a chicken. So when I'm saying egg, I means egg of a hen. Yeah, Ranjit, that is perfect. Yeah, that is perfectly correct. There are a lot of birds whose eggs are circle, but because I was discussing hen's egg, that's why I said oval. Okay, because the shape was oval, that's why I said oval. There are a lot of birds which lay round eggs also. In that third way, you are perfectly correct. Okay. So if you're writing an answer, you can do round or oval also. Okay, perfect. That there. Now, coming back to what are the different parts of it. So, nature has made egg in a very specific way. Now, because it denotes life, nature has taken special care when they are made. So, the naturally egg is divided into five parts. It is divided into five parts. First is your eggshell, that is the topmost part of it. Then there is an air cell. If you can see, there's an air cell in the photo. That is the second thing. Third is an egg yolk. Fourth is an egg white. Egg white is also known as albumin. And fifth is shell membrane. Now I'm not talking about the chalaze here. I'm not at all talking about it, because chalces are a part of egg white. So I'm not going to take it differently. But these are the five parts in which an egg has been divided. So egg is divided into five parts: eggshell, egg yolk, egg white, air cell, and shell membrane. Now let's look at it. What is the middle part? The middle part of an egg is called a yolk. Now yolk is yellow in color. Why it is yellow in color? The color of the yolk depends on what is a hen eating. Now depending on what they are eating, the color changes. That is why many of the people who are feeding eggs, who feed eggs, they add a lot of corn into what they are eating. Why? Because they want the color to be more yellowish. they add marigold. When hen is eating, they put marigold also into it, so that the color becomes yellow. So whatever hen is eating, the color of the yolk will depend that. Generally, the color of the yolk will be from the creamish yellow to very, very bright yellow to red. Yeah, Nikhil, that's what I've said. No, it depends on what is the chicken eating. It depends on what is chicken eating. Okay, generally it is yellow because that is what it has been fed. So whatever it has been fed throughout, because most of the eggs which we get now are done in a farm. They're farmed eggs, and the hen are given a particular amount of diet. That particular diet will decide what kind of color the egg egg has or egg yolk has. Okay, so egg yolk is the middle part of an egg. It is around 30% of the weight of whole egg. So whatever the weight of whole egg is, it is 30% of the whole egg. Now, egg yolk has got nutritive value. It has got the most nutritive value. It is dense with nutrients. It has fat. It has certain amount of proteins. All the vitamins and minerals which you found in egg will be found in yolk. Now, because it has fat, that is why many of the people who go into fat-free diets, they avoid using egg yolks, because all the fat in the egg you'll find in the yolk only. Okay, all the fat in the egg will found in the yolk only. Now, Vaibhav is sending me a direct message. Vaibhav, it's better if you are sending any message, put it directly, put it for everybody in the room. That why are some eggs brown and some white? I would have come to it, but now because you have asked it, I will tell you some of the eggs are white and some of the eggs are brown. Depends on the breed of the chicken. So whatever is the breed of the chicken, it depends on that. Color of an eggshell has nothing to do with the nutritive value or the flavor of an egg. It has nothing to do with it. If you have read it somewhere, then it's a myth. It has nothing to do with it. It is depends on the breed of the bird. Okay. Now coming back to the yolk. Yolk is something which is 30% of the yolk is something which is 30% of the whole egg. It has more. It has the all the fat which is present in the egg you'll find in the yolk only. You will find a lot of proteins, but certain amount of proteins or majority of proteins is there in the white. So you'll find some part of proteins, vitamin A, D, E, K. The water soluble and fat soluble, both the vitamins are present in your egg. There is fat, there are iron, there is calcium. So there is a lot of things which is available in an egg, and most of the nutritional part of it goes in the yolk only. Okay, although the vitamin and mineral part is very less, it is more of fat and protein. It is more of fat and protein. The next part is the white. Now, white is also known as albumin. Actually, albumin is the thick part of the white and not the thin part of the white. But generally, we categorize egg white as, or we say egg white as an albumin. Okay. Generally, egg whites are of two parts, are divided into two parts. One is a thick part, another is a thin part. As the egg starts getting older, the thick part starts getting thinner. This thick part starts getting thinner. Guys, can you just hold on for a minute, please? Okay, guys. So what we are doing? I'm sorry. There was somebody on the door. So yeah. So now coming back to your egg yolk thing. Now egg yolk is something which has got the highest nutritive value. It is 30%, and it is yellow in color, as we have already spoken about it. Now the next thing was egg white. We were on the egg white. Now egg white is more of a protein. Is more of a protein. So when the moment I say egg white consists of protein and water. That is what egg white is all about. Egg white is all about protein and water. That is why when people they make eggs, when they are into fat-free diets, they prefer not to use yolk. They prefer only white. Okay. So egg white is protein and water. Okay. So egg white is protein and water. Now, egg white are divided into three parts generally. There is a thick part of egg white, there is thin part of egg white, and then there is a chalaze. Chalaze are the thin threads of egg whites. That divided into three parts. Egg white is thick, thin, and chalaze. Thick and thin will depend on how fresh the egg white is. If the egg white is very, very fresh, then if egg white is very, very fresh, then generally you will find that it has got more thick part and less of thin part. When it starts getting stale, the white becomes start getting thinner. That is one way of finding out whether egg is fresh or not is by breaking it, opening and seeing whether egg white is thick or thin. I'll come to that later, to that part. And the chalaze, which is the thread, it holds the yolk together. So it has a very important thing to do. It holds the yolk together. That's how nature has made it. And it has made it very, very beautiful. Whenever you see an egg, the yolk is always in the middle. Whenever you see a photo of egg, you will find that yolk is shown always in the middle. It is not shown anywhere on the side, on the last, on the front. It is always in the middle. Why it is always in the middle is because there are threads which are holding the yolk together. There are threads which are holding the yolk together. So there are threads of egg white which are holding the yolk together. So when I talk about egg white is around 55%, 55 to 58% of 55 to 58% of the egg. So that is mostly water and protein. So you can easily imagine the amount of water there is in the egg, right? So it's around 58, white is around 58% of the whole weight of egg. Now the third part of egg is the shell membranes. So if you can see, there are two shell membranes. After the shell, there are two shell membranes before the white. Before the shell touches the white, there are two shell membranes. There is an outer shell membrane and there is an inner shell membrane, and there is an air cell between them. एक air cell भी बन रहा है ऊपर, वो दोनों shell membranes के बीच में बन रहा है. ठीक है? Now what is shell membrane? Shell membrane is it's a coating, it's a film. Okay, it's a film which surrounds the white and yolk of the egg. It is just beneath your egg shell. Sometimes when you boil the egg, when you peel it, you will see that shell membrane. Sometimes you see that. If you have ever noticed it, there's a shell membrane which happens. Now, what does shell membrane do? Now, because nature knows, and that's why I say that this particular ingredient is such beautifully made, because nature knows that the shell which we have given, the shell of an egg which is given, is porous. It is porous. It is not solid. It can absorb a lot of flavors. It can absorb a lot of it absorbs a lot of things, because it is made of calcium and it is porous in nature. Because it is porous in nature, there can be a lot of bacterial invasion which can also happen. Now, because there is a lot of bacterial invasion which can happen, the shell membrane, it protects the life inside. It protects the yolk and the white inside. That is why nature has made a shell membrane inside a shell. It has made a shell membrane inside the shell. The shell membrane, what they do is they protect the nutrients not to get infected through bacterial invasion. That is the reason why shell membrane has been made by nature. It's a naturally made thing. We can't do anything about it. Okay. Then there is an air cell. The fourth of the part is an air cell. Now, what is air cell? Air cell is when a hen lays an egg. Okay. When a hen lays an egg, the moment it lays an egg, it is warm. And when it starts getting colder, the inside of the egg starts to contract. When the inside of the egg starts to contract, if you can see, there is a contraction which is happening on the top. It forms an air pocket. So that is known as an air cell. So air cell is something which is beneficial because it gives a two-layer protecting between the shell and the yolk. And that also happens naturally. So you can't do anything about it. It's a natural process. The fifth part of an egg is your eggshell. Now, eggshell is around 12% of the whole egg. The weight is around 12% of the whole egg. Eggshell is made of calcium. It is made of calcium carbonate, and it is not something. It is not something which is fully. You can't say that it is fully recovering the egg. Yes, it is fully recovering the egg, but still it is porous in nature. Now, because it is porous in nature, that is why whenever you take a freshly laid egg. If you take a freshly laid egg, you will figure that there is a natural bloom. There's a powdery thing on the egg. There's a natural bloom on the egg. Now this also happens naturally because it is porous in nature. To protect the shell, to protect that something doesn't go inside, there's a natural bloom which comes onto the egg. That is why whenever a hen lays an egg, you take it out and you wash off that bloom, and then you start using the egg. There's a bloom which comes on the egg. That is nature's way of protecting the shell. Okay, so shell is something which is porous in nature. Because shell is porous in nature, that is why whenever we are storing an egg, जब भी हम अंडे को स्टोर करते हैं, अगर आपने पुराने जमाने के फ्रिज देखे होंगे, तो फ्रिज में भी अंडा स्टोर करने के लिए आपको एक अलग कंपार्टमेंट दिया जाता है. It is kept away from all the other things. Why it is kept away from all the other things is because we want the egg to not to absorb the flavors. But we are so intelligent that sometimes what we do is, if there is any cut onion, if there is any cut lemon, we will put in that egg tray only. We generally do that. That is pretty common. You'll find a piece of cheese. So all the flavors which you are putting with the egg, it is going to absorb everything. Okay, everybody does it. My mother also used to do it. I also, because I've studied before studying, I also used to do the same thing. Now, because egg is such porous in nature, that we always keep it away from other things. When I was working in Taj, we used to get lots and lots of eggs, lots and lots. Maybe there were 1,000 trays of eggs. So we had a separate egg room. We had a separate egg room where we used to store the eggs. So eggs used to be stored away from everything else. We never used to store eggs in a chiller where there is cheese, where there are herbs, because if you do that, then it is going to absorb all the flavor. And when it's going to absorb all the flavor, the moment I'm going to open an egg to bake a cake, my cake is going to smell basil. It's going to smell rosemary, because it's going to absorb all the flavor. So I have to keep it away, separate from all the other things. So these are the 5 basic parts of egg. First is an egg yolk, which is the nutritive part, which is yellow in color. Then there is egg white. Egg white is the protein and water part. It is white in color, and it has got a chalaze. It is a thread which holds the yolk also together. Then there are shell membranes. Shell membranes protect the egg from any kind of bacterial invasion. There is a air cell which happens due to contraction. It also gives a 2-level protection to a yolk. And then there is an eggshell. Eggshell is like a nature's way of protecting the life itself. So these are the five different parts of egg. I'm pretty sure that you must be clear with it. If you have any doubt, you can ask. Mishra, when you boil egg for long period of time, then there's a sulfur which makes it look blue and black or gray. Okay, so you are not supposed to boil it for too long. So if you're boiling, just make sure that you don't boil it too much, because it's not good for your health. Okay, so that is the part of eggs. I hope everything is clear. We can move forward, guys. If you have any question, you can put it on the chat box. Okay, thank you. Now let's see the nutritional breakdown of egg. So whenever we say egg, we talk about the nutritional breakdown of eggs. So egg, to add on to what we have discussed till now, when I break down one large egg, the white is something which has got less calories. That is one of the reasons why, when we are on a healthy diet, when we are on a calorie free diet or less caloric diet, people tend to eat only egg whites. Like we go to a restaurant, whenever we are eating something in a buffet, we say, chef, one egg white omelette. Why? Because we don't want the fat to come from the yolk. So egg white is mostly protein and water, very, very, very less fat. Okay, when we talk about yolk of an egg, yolk is more calories, it has got more protein, and it has got the highest amount of fat. So whatever fat is there in the in a egg, it is mostly because of the yolk. Yolk also has all the fat and water soluble vitamins. So whatever vitamin intake you want, if you're eating only white, then what you're getting is only protein. You're not getting any vitamins. But if you want the vitamin part, then you have to eat the yolk also. So please explain once more the part of egg white. Okay, 1 minute, Ranveer. Yeah. So coming back to the part of egg, Ranveer wanted to ask me what are the different parts of egg whites. Look, Ranveer, egg white is divided into generally 3 parts. One, when we break a freshly laid egg, you'll find that the egg white is very thick. Gradually, when the days go past, when it starts getting stale, the egg white will become thinner. The thin part will be very less in a freshly laid egg, but as the eggs become older, the thinner part will start increasing and thick part will start becoming less. Generally, the thick part is called albumin, but because but somehow we use the term albumin for the whole egg. Okay, we use word albumin for the whole egg. So when I say egg white is divided into three parts. There is a thick egg white, there is thin egg white, and then there is the chalaze. Thick egg white, thin egg white, you all know it is protein and water. Chalaze are the threads in egg white which holds the yolk together. So it is holding the yolk together in the center. Okay, I hope I'm clear with that. So coming back to the nutritional breakdown. So if I want to eat eat an egg and I'm concerned about the fat intake, then I will skip yolk. If I want to eat an egg and I want all the nutrients to come, then I have to eat yolk. That's why they say that that's why there is an ad which comes in the television which says Sunday ho ya Monday you rose kha one day, is because the amount of fat and amount of protein which one egg has, it is almost 10% of the whole protein intake of your body. So if a whole protein intake of your body is around 65 gram, sorry, only egg will gives around 6 to 7 grams of protein. That is like 10%. That is pretty huge for a foodstuff which is so small. Okay, so yeah, that's it. That's a nutritional breakdown of egg. Now the next is the spread test. Now whatever we have spoken about till now, there are when we grade an egg, we grade it into three categories. There are grade AA, grade A, and grade D. Now grade AA is something which is freshly laid. We have already spoken about it, where the yolk is firm and the egg white is also very firm. You can see that it is surrounding the yolk, and it's like a mountain which is surrounding the yolk, and the thin liquid is very less. As the egg starts getting older, as the sex starts getting older, you will find that it is a weak, when a week old egg happens, you'll find that the thin part is getting longer and the thick part is getting smaller. The grade B eggs are the ones which are 2 or 3 weeks old, where you'll find that the yolk has also flattened and white, the thick white is getting thinner and thinner part is getting more and more. So that's how you divide an egg into different uh, grades. That this is a test which is done especially for the freshness of an egg. Now coming back to somebody who was asked whether an egg can have two yolks. Yes, if we can give birth to twins, then egg also can have two yolks. That is perfectly normal. Okay. Next, classification on basis of egg size. Classification on the basis of egg size. Now, eggs classification on egg size is generally whenever we classify eggs, and I've already spoken about it when we were doing the introduction. Is whenever I say egg means I'm talking about hen egg. So whenever I'm classifying egg depending on the size, then these are the terms which we use. Jumbo is around 70 grams. That is a very large egg. Extra large is 65 to 60 grams. Large is 55 grams. Medium is 48 to 50 grams. So the egg which we get here, egg which we generally get in India, or which we locally get, is the medium variety, which is around 45 to 50. Small is around 40 grams and PV is around 35 grams or less. Okay, so if the eggs which we generally get is around 48 to 50, that is why whenever we use eggs in bakery, I always tell you to assume it to be 50 grams. That is the medium, that is the average weight of an egg. Okay, then the next is storage of eggs. Whenever we store eggs should always be washed and stored. Whenever we are storing egg, it should be washed and stored. Why we wash eggs is there is another reason. Whenever I get a store bought eggs, if I put it in a container which is filled with water, if all the eggs sink in, that shows me that all the eggs are fresh. The moment I see some of the eggs floating, that means the egg has gone bad. You don't have to break it, you don't have to wash it, just pick it out from the water and throw. So the fresh eggs which you get from the market, if you put it in a cold water or a normal water which is not hot, when you put it inside, it should sink. So that when you wash eggs, when you bring eggs from the store and when you start washing it, if you can just do this a simple test, you can figure out if there is an egg which is bad or not. If there is egg which is bad, you can just throw it then and there. Okay, so eggs should always be washed and stored. We should always store eggs away from strong smelling food items like fish, cheese, onion, garlic, ginger, all these things which are very strong smelling, you should store your eggs away from it because it is porous, it absorbs all the flavor. Hard boiled eggs, if you hard boil the eggs, then it can be kept for 4 days in a shell and can be 2 days without shell. And once broken, egg yolk can be kept for 24 hours in fridge. Mishra, okay, Mishra, one more time. Whenever we are buying eggs, when we buy eggs from the market, when we get a store bought eggs, what you have to do is just take the eggs. If you have 10 eggs, take a bowl of water and put all the eggs in the water. If you see that some of the eggs are floating, तैर के ऊपर आ रहा है, अगर ऊपर आता है तो आप उसको निकाल के आप उसको थ्रो कर देंगे क्योंकि वो स्टेल है. फ्रेश एग्स जो खराब नहीं है उनको डूब जाना चाहिए. इट शुड इमर्ज इन द वाटर, इट शुड नॉट कम आउट. ऊपर नहीं आने चाहिए. अगर वो ऊपर आ रहे हैं मतलब कि वो खराब हो चुके हैं, आपको उसको फेंक देना चाहिए. ठीक है, that is why we say whenever you're storing eggs, you should always wash and store, because when you're washing, you can do this small test. Okay, so that is about egg storage. After eggs can also be classified on the basis of source. Now we have classified eggs on the basis of size, that is your hen egg. We can also classify eggs on the basis of source. This is just for your knowledge. We are not going to use any of the eggs which is there in the picture apart from hen egg. Okay, there is an ostrich egg which weighs around 1200 grams easily. It starts from 500, 600, it can go till 1900 also. So you can have eggs which are of 2 kg weight also. Okay? An ostrich egg can easily feed up to 12 to 15%. Then there is goose egg. Goose egg is 175 to 200 grams. If you don't know what is goose is a game bird. You can Google it. Then there is duck. Duck is around 70 to 90 grams. In southern part of India, you'll find that people use a lot of duck eggs when they're making curries and all. Turkey is 65 to 75 grams. Turkey egg. Hen egg is 45 to 50. And quail egg is 10 to 16. Ranveer, obviously one yolk only. Quail egg is 10 to 16 grams. Okay, quail egg is actually a delicacy. There are a lot of chefs who make quail eggs and they use it as an appetizer in salads and all. Okay, it's a delicacy, quail egg. So these are the classifications of eggs. Eggs which we are going to use very commonly is your hen egg. Okay. Then there is an egg freshness test. I've already told you, egg freshness test is something where you take an egg, you dip it in cold water. If it sinks, that is a fresh egg. If it floats, you have to throw it out. There was one more method which people used to do was candling. Candling was they used to, because in older times, electricity was something which was not easily available. So people, what they used to do is they used to take the eggs into dark room. They used to light a candle and they used to hold the egg in front of the candle. When you hold the egg in front of the candle, you can see whether the egg where the egg is going to hatch a chicken or not. If it is going to hatch a chicken, they are not going to use it for culinary purposes. They are going to use the other one for culinary purposes. So that was candling method. Now people use a machine called overscope. Overscope is used to find out whether the egg is fertile or not. The eggs which we use are not fertile. Okay, so hen will lay eggs. Whether it is fertile or not, that is hen can lay eggs throughout life without it being fertile also. I will not get into the biological part of it. You can Google it and you can clear all your doubts regarding that. Okay, so that's it, guys. That's it for today. Whatever is next, the cooking methods we'll discuss in next class. I hope everything is clear. Egg freshness test. Then there is the classification of eggs on basis of source. Then there is egg storage, how to store eggs. Then we talked about spread test. We talked about classification on basis of egg size. Then there is nutritional breakdown of egg and parts of egg. Nikhil, the eggshell is made up of calcium. Okay. So I believe